Hi Libra, thank you for joining me and welcome to my channel. It's Veroosh and we're going to do your reading for Venus direct, Venus retrograde. So it's coming late, but I think this is a good time to do it because these are the transits that matter, and Venus retrograde was sort of clearing the way for what's going to happen now. And you're going to get this video right at the beginning of the sweet spot, so I hope you enjoy it. Today we're going to do a heart-shaped spread in astrology. If you've not seen the heart-shaped spread, then I'll explain it all for you. My videos are for Sun, Moon, and Rising Libras. I really like Sun astrology, and yeah, I'm not going to get into that why, but yeah, if you're a Sun, Moon, Rising Libra, watch this. Okay, so first card we have is the High Priestess. Okay, so our starting point for you, or for you and the environment that you're in, is a deep understanding and a deep knowing of what's going on. This set of transits, including Venus retrograde, has happened in your fourth house. Fourth house is home and family. To me, this suggests that you are in some way, how do I say this? You're, I'm just tapping into that root, you know? So tapping into like fundamental things, like why is my family the way that it is? Who's in my family? How do I feel about them? How do they feel about me? Your primary relationships, like your mother and father, and a deep understanding. So if you're in a relationship, you could be really tapping into deep nuances about you and your partner. And if you're single, then maybe you're understanding why relationships have been the way they have been through Venus retrograde. So it's a prolific time. Now let's take a look at two cards to represent your take on the situation. So yeah, I'm getting the fact that some of you might have been going through primary wounds at this time. Now, this doesn't mean that something has happened, and we have the Ace of Wands. This is really good together, by the way. Also, this is 9 and 1, so 91. I don't know if anybody's out there who's from 91. You're 30, so happy 30th this year. No, 31. Oh, okay. So no, never mind. But if you're from 91, this might be for you a special message. So when I'm saying primary wound, sorry, let me keep on track. So if I'm saying a primary wound that you're going through, this doesn't mean that you're getting hurt right now. It means that you're reevaluating what has hurt you in the past. So, you know, yes, so whatever kind of pain you've gone through, whatever, you know, like whatever your family situation was, what you felt you didn't get, what you didn't get from your parents, how it showed up in your relationships, this may have really recently come up, especially through Venus retrograde. If it hasn't come up yet, as of January 28th, when Venus went direct, February 4th, when Mercury goes direct, I think you're in the clear. So it's probably not that. But I think for many of you, you are really touching home with yourself, touching home base, and figuring out what you want. The reason I said this combination is really good is sometimes when we're really hurt, we see the insight. And this is the Ace of Wands, and I think that there's a fair bit of awareness or insight that you are attaining at this time from whatever suffering you've gone through here. I tend to not show this card close up because it's beautiful, but I just don't want to make anyone sad. Oh, there is a river. Oh, isn't that interesting? I never noticed that. Look, I thought where is she climbing? There's a river or a lake or something. She's risking her life to get to the window. Okay, so whatever she's doing, it's crazy. And whatever it's motivated by, it's a risk. This card is ruled by Mars in Gemini, but you don't have to have that placement for it to be your reason. I think that this is essentially where many of you are feeling right now, is a profound hurt that has come up in one way or another, And from that hurt, you're getting massive inspiration about what you want life to be like, what your relationship may. There was a wake-up call, what you want your relationship to be like. Okay, so now let's take a look at your cards next. We have the Six of Swords, which is moving on. So this side represents them, the other person, or this may represent your environment. And then we have the Eight of Wands. Honestly, I feel as though somebody could be moving on, which is the Six of Swords, and they could be sending you a message of love. If you've been in a conflict with someone, they may be moving away from that conflict. So, and sending some kind of conciliatory message, which means like saying something nice to find balance in the situation that's been out of balance. The energy from the other person or from your environment is letting go. And it's an energy of letting go, but yet we have Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is ruled by Mercury and Sagittarius. You don't have to have that placement for this to be your message. And it's like a message, it's a message of love. So this is a two-parter. On the one hand, we have this message of love coming in, and on the other, there's a Six of Swords situation moving on, leaving old circumstances behind. This can be leaving problems behind as well. So if there's been a conflict between you and someone around you, they could be moving on from that. Okay? So now let's take a look at your chart. Before we start, I want to tell you that I'm going to gloss over the reading today. The transits, I'm just going to tell you where they are in your chart. I'm going to do a collective reading for Venus direct to go over this in detail. I'll explain all the little nuances, all the parts, and we'll do it all together so I don't have to repeat myself 12 times because that's crazy. So today is just the individual reading for your Sun, Moon, and Rising Libra. So Sun, Libra, welcome. Rising Libra, welcome. You're both welcome here. Next message is for members. Members, we are doing an extended for this, but it's not going to be for the same time period. So essentially what you're going to get is a members only video for a preview for the spring. And that's going to come out for everyone later. So members get to see it first, everybody later. It's a preview feature. I do those once in a while. Usually it's members only, but this one, because it's love, it's more appropriate that we share. Okay, then we have a private reading with me. If you want a private reading with me, my website's still down, so go into the description down below and go and get it through the direct link as opposed to the website. I need to fix that, but it gets deprioritized as other things come up, so hang tight. I also am doing shorts on Tarot Talk, which is a second channel. Go down below. Shorts are astrology shorts that are under a minute long, so go check it out. I might move them to the main channel, maybe not, maybe yes. We'll see how that goes. That's all I needed to tell you. Okay, so Venus retrograde happened between December 19th and January 28th in the sign of Capricorn. She started her retrograde cycle at 24 degrees Capricorn, ended up at 11 degrees Capricorn, and now she's moving up again. While she's moving up, she's going to make conjunctions with Mars here, and then later on with Pluto. Meanwhile, she's also conjunct Vesta. On February 25th through the 27th, the moon will be in Capricorn, and it will form a series of conjunctions with these transits there. The moon was already in Capricorn on January 28th through the 28th through the 31st. That's right. And so 29th through the 31st, sorry. And so if you want to know what that transit will be like, go back to last weekend and see how it played out for you. A lot of the similar themes will come up. So what does this all mean? Well, this is all happening in Capricorn, which is your 4th house, Libra. So like I said, like a deep dive into family dynamics. This does not mean that you're dealing directly with your parents, but if you're in a relationship, it's referring back to family stuff a lot. You find yourself thinking, oh, this is happening because my family was like this or things were like that. So it's a very like referential to the past sort of energy. So be aware of that. Beyond this, especially if you're married or if you're partnered up, the fourth house is home and family. So there's something very important being playing out at your home between you and your family members. And I think it's going to be pretty consequential. It's going to be a big deal in one way or another. So Venus and Mars join on February 16th exact, but they will be moving up to that exact conjunction from now, from February 3rd or 4th. And so this will be very significant. It's a very significant long-term transit. Very good for love. Very like basically touching base with whatever happened during Venus retrograde, whatever's transpired in this area of your life. You're deriving conclusions and making decisions and moving forward. Mars will be ahead of Venus before she passes him on March 5th. And so there will be this energy of, you know, just the conjunction, like heightened energy of love, awareness of what you're doing, awareness of where you want things to go. And then also Mercury and Pluto are conjunct in Capricorn at the end of the degree. So there's a lot of communication happening around the house and a lot of reference to Mercury retrograde. Mercury and Venus are going to be both in Capricorn between February 4th through the 14th. I'm going to do this all in detail for the collective, so don't worry about the dates. But just know from the 4th to 14th, that's when everything starts to really happen. And so essentially, the reason that this video makes sense is that that period of Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde are now direct. Whatever's happened during each period is being consolidated, brought into reality, being manifested, and working itself out. So whatever relationships need to have been worked out, they have been triggered, and now it's time to implement what you want to happen. So you decide what step you take next. It's a very, very powerful energy. So if you're in a relationship, lots of conversations with your partner about how things are going, for good or bad. And if you're single, you're really thinking hard about what's home, where is home, what does it mean, and where am I going with things, okay? This is a transit in which you will feel a lot of self-empowerment. Now, of course, it's a square to your placements in Libra. They're both cardinal signs, so it's a square, harsh energy. Not everything's going to be comfortable. Not everything's going to be smooth, right? So some of this lessons might come through being challenged, and that's okay. So that's this sort of tension. I would call it tension, not anything negative, okay? Furthermore, some good energy to do with this. There's some beautiful aspects to Pisces happening right until the spring. And so the transits in Capricorn are in positive aspect to Pisces. Something's growing. I feel like for you, it's a very self-starter energy. The question is, what am I going to do now? Very Ace of Wands, yes. What am I going to do now? Which direction do I want to take? What do I feel powerful? What is inspiring me? Where do I want to go? Your North Node in Taurus is actually in the 8th house, which makes you like really ready for change. Change? Who wants it? I got it, you know? And so in the 8th house, you're going to be bold this year, especially with Uranus there. So we'll do a dedicated video on the node. I'm not in a rush to do it. We'll talk about it in very soon. But essentially in the 8th house, you're oriented towards change. You know, you've had some big things presented to you as questions with all these transits that I'm talking about, and yeah, hopefully they're informing you around the topic of home, but more like I said, like home as opposed to house. Like, what is your home? Like, what's going on with your home? Are the people around me truly my family? Are they really, really my home? Or are they just a house? Are they roommates or are they family? So big questions like that happen. And, you know, we missed this transit for this video, which is Venus trine Uranus. It's ending now. It's still happening a little bit. So again, in the 8th house, very prone to change, very prone to see something new. You know, if you see something in your house that's bothering you, that's not comfortable, this is the time when you may just want to go in a different direction. So wonderful. And on top of this, because we've missed most of this Uranus transit for your sign, Sun Saturn conjunction, beautiful Sun Saturn. So there was the Sun Saturn Moon conjunction, loose one for the new moon, but this is when the reset happens. And so karma is reset, you know, things are stripped clear. You get a bright road ahead, bright road ahead. In the fifth house, Saturn can be cleaning up a lot of things that you've brought into your life, like interests, personal interests that you've brought into your life that have essentially become obstacles. You know, when you buy like an expensive, let's say you want to play piano. So you buy an expensive piano and it's sitting there in your house and it costs like $4,000, $5,000. I don't know how much pianos cost, probably more. But it's sitting there and you don't play it. It's like Saturn conjunct Sun can remove the piano. You might find a buyer for it and just get it out of your way so that other things can come into your life. Next big instrument, a cello, you know, whatever. So Saturn with Sun in the fifth house, it's just a reorganization and removal of obstacles so that you can pursue other things you enjoy. So it's a really nice reset. Saturn in the fifth house is a bit of a tough transit. Maybe I should do a Saturn video. Tell me sometime when we do a collective video if you're interested in a Saturn and Aquarius video. I don't think I did a dedicated one, so we can do that now. It's fine if it's mid-cycle. I don't mind. Okay, so yeah, there's lots of changes, lots of transformations. The big thing to remember, February 4th through the 14th is really when things get cracking, and also the lunar transits. So the first one was January 29th through the 31st. The second one in Capricorn is on February 25th through the 27th. That's when things will get really going. Okay, so we'll talk about this more in the collective, and I'll kind of spell out the dates for you a bit more, about the cycles a bit more, but I hope this was helpful. Just remember, you're diving deep, so you could be looking at your partner and really asking the tough questions. And some of the difficulties, like if you have a conflict between you and your partner, like a conflict, an ongoing conflict, something that seems impenetrable or difficult to resolve, this could be a time in which bygones be bygones energy comes in, when you're able to solve the problem, or you'll figure out a way around the problem, at which time you will in some way say, this is hurting me too much, I have to have another way around it. And they may say, okay, so be it, I love you, good luck, whatever. It doesn't mean the end of the relationship. It's a pivot, it's not an ending. Okay, so, well, for you in the 8th house, you might pull the trigger on some things, but that's on you. Okay, so, end with tarot. So again, this position represents where we're going next. So this is kind of the situation. And then we have the Tower. Look at you, 8th house energy for sure. So when you have the North Node in the 8th house, expect your readings to come up with lots of Tower energy. Uranus, yeah. Uranus, North Node, and in your 8th house. So if you're new to astrology, let me show you how. So we have the North Node and Uranus in the 8th house. So that's the house of change and transformation. There's your Tower. With the North Node in the 8th house, really, it's important to recognize that you are the architect of the change. So you are the person who would initiate a Tower situation in your life. It's a situation in which you will feel until 2023, when the nodes switch, you will have moments in which you will not be able to put up with the situation further, and you will pull the trigger on it. You will just say, that's enough, you know? So, Tower moment, okay. You might pull, you'll just make a hard decision. Then we have the Magician. And when I say hard decision, I don't mean like a difficult one. I mean like a firm decision. You're going to make a firm decision. And then the Magician, you know, if you're dealing with a specific person, if you're married or if you're partnered up, this person can actually do a lot of things at this time to make things better. So I'm not one to promote like expecting chivalry, or it just puts undue expectations on people. I think that, but I think that in this case, I think that somebody could be reaching out or trying to make things happen in a positive way just at that moment when you're ready to let go and release and all that. So I think it's very interesting for you. It's definitely a lot of change. Remember, Chiron is in your seventh house of partnership. So overall, you do at this time feel vulnerable with regard to your partners. You have like a lot of deep issues coming up that have to do with identity and who you are, or why people are the way they are. And so it's a soft spot. Partnerships and relationships for you at this time, Libra, could definitely be something that you feel sensitive about, honestly. And so at this time, you might be feeling trampled in relationships, or just like everything is contextualized in something in your past. So everything gets heavy, everything gets intense quickly. And so this is like a little rainbow or a silver lining. Somebody around you is bringing you light into the situation. The next two cards are clarifiers. So we have the Two of Cups, which is love. I love seeing the Tower and the Two of Cups come up. To me, the combination is like love at first sight kind of thing. So boom. And Jupiter in Pisces. So Nine of Cups is ruled by Jupiter in Pisces. This is in your sixth house. So I said something earlier when I was doing your astrology with regard to the sixth house about how the transits here are an aspect to the transits in your fourth house, and that's bringing up new energy. I just feel maybe you're just going to cut the cord and say, I'm not going to be sad about this anymore. And suddenly all this opportunity comes in. Jupiter's in Pisces until May, and then again October, November, and December. And I think that I just feel as though there's a very fast turnaround, a very fast improvement from something where you're feeling dark, from something in which you're feeling brought down by life, or like you can't hold on any further. The next message is the Lovers, which is the card of Gemini. So this is the clarifier for the other energy, whether it's your partner or if you're single, people around you. And the Devil. Okay, so Capricorn energy, fourth house. So I'm picking up on something here, and this is not to imply anything for anyone, but this may be a message for you, so just listen up. Is something happening in your life in which you keep on trying to leave a relationship that hits a bad spot? And when you do, you get this intense positive energy coming towards you. So to make it up to you, that kind of thing. I think that this could be an aspect of this. And if that's your situation, then I think you should really evaluate your relationship if that's what's going on. So it could be the situation if the people you're around, be it your husband, partner, or whatever, are allowing you to hit this Nine of Swords before they start showing you adoration and love, there's something there. You've become a slave to the cycle. Sometimes people, to their defense, don't recognize they're doing it, but I think you need help if that's the case. I think you need to speak with like somebody else to get help, or talk to a trusted friend, or talk to someone to figure this out, because that's not a good cycle. But if for everyone else, because not all Libras are going to have this sort of experience, you could be in a situation in which someone really lets go of something and starts really showing up in your life. The Devil made me say the previous thing that I said, in which I questioned whether or not that person had genuine intentions. But it could also be that this person is very focused around you towards the home. Now, if you're single, there could be people around you that are bringing great love into your life and who want to turn things around with you. It could also be possible, Libra, that you've been involved with a friendship or otherwise in some type of situation that was pulling you away from the love that you have. So we could be actually looking at one thing and another thing. So it looks like to me something's overlapping here. Something that was hurtful or something that was, you know, just difficult in some way and bringing you down. And then there's all of this positivity, and this is kind of where the future is going. So you have a lot of loving relationships up ahead. The outcome is the Hanged Man, so it's kind of a waiting game. Split emotions, and a delay at the end. You're not seeing something, so the devil could be hiding something, someone hiding something, and the Hanged Man is waiting for an answer. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, so you might have to wait before you get the final outcome that you're looking for. So this is within a relationship. If you're single, if you're talking about just general energy around you, you may have like a boom and bust cycle with people that you know that you're interacting with. It seems like things are going well, and then there's like pauses. But again, I don't think it's personal. I think that the pauses are coming from other factors that are affecting your life. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to watch your members only content when it's out. It's going to be in parentheses and a link's going to be there, so just look for that. When it's ready, I'll put it there. Thank you so much for watching and have a nice day. Take care. Bye.